All right, welcome back. We are going to be making some weed killer today. And contrary to how I normally do things, this actually isn't done with essential oils. I'm sure there's plenty of essential oils that can work for killing off weeds and plants. But we actually have been using this concoction for a few years now. And we really enjoy using it. It's not super long lasting with its effects. So it's not gonna, even if it affects other plants around what it is you're trying to kill, the certain weeds you're trying to kill, they will be able to grow back before the end of the month. That being said, it's not super strong. So it is one that you have to kind of weekly apply where you want weeds to stop growing. But it is super strong in the fact that it will kill just about everything. So we originally created it because we had so much poison ivy in our yard and around our house when we first moved in. It looked like the backyard hadn't been kept in years. So we needed something that was gonna be like, you know, massive, just kill all of the poison ivy. And it turned out that it worked really well for a multitude of other things. I mean, personally, we actually eat a lot of the weeds that grow in our yard, everything from the dandelion to like the violets and stuff like that. But there's also a lot of things that we just absolutely don't want. We have a certain weed, it's a viney weed, I don't know what it is, it comes back every year. And it's really hard to pull up because it has all these little thorns on it. And it's not even like a whole thorn, it's just a prickle. We also have 7-minute itch out there. We've got black walnut trees that literally grow all over our yard. So we needed something that was powerful enough to kind of get rid of the things that we didn't want, allow the ability for things to grow back quickly. So this is what we found, okay? For those of you who are looking for a one and done kind of weed killer, this is not the weed killer for you. You're definitely gonna have to upkeep this, do it like once a week. Once you've actually killed off what it is you're trying to get rid of, you're gonna have to spray about once a week just to kind of make sure that it doesn't grow back. And you can keep those sprays fairly minimal so that the other plants that were growing in that area can grow as well. But yeah, so let's go ahead and get started. I actually have the recipe written right here, so I'm gonna leave this turned for you guys. It's fairly simple. It is 1 gallon of vinegar, a whole cup of salt, and 1/4 of a teaspoon of soap. So I use, I actually went and get specifically just 1 gallon of vinegar rather than my giant like 1.5 gallons. And it's just easier for me to measure it out this way, because then you're doing 1 cup of salt and you're actually going to make this into a brine. Those of you who know how to make brine, you can skip these next 30 seconds. Those of you who don't, brine is, it's kind of like pickle juice, right? So you have to boil your vinegar in order for the salt to dissolve in it. This is an extremely smelly process. Here's where the oils come in, right? Diffuse something strong like peppermint, because your kitchen will smell. I have found that actually making the brine in the microwave is a little less smelly because you can kind of contain the smell, but do beware, once you open the microwave, you will get hit with a nice wave of brine smell. Those of you who don't like the smell of vinegar, maybe use a mask for this. You can get a mask at like any drugstore, CVS kind of thing, Walgreens, any of them. So you get the mask, you put it on your face, and you can actually drop a drop or two of essential oils into there so that you're not breathing in the vinegar smell, because it's going to be extremely strong, guys. I want to forewarn you about this. So yeah, so you get your 1 cup of salt, you get your, I actually do about 1/4 of vinegar, and I put them together. Put them in the microwave. I do about 5 minutes, stir it up. I'll pour out anything that's liquid and put in another quart of vinegar, all from the same bottle. So I'm making sure that I'm just using that 1 gallon. and then put it back in for about 5 minutes. And that normally does the trick. Sometimes, you know, give or take a minute or two. So doing it in the microwave really helps to cut down on some time and also on some smell. So I'm actually gonna go grab that real quick and see if it's ready. It should be, and I will show you what it should look like when it's all done. So this is my brine mixture right now. As you can see, there's still a little bit of sediment from the salt. So essentially once you start stirring, this should all kind of go away, and I'm going to apologize ahead of time for the shakiness of this. So you just kind of stir. You want to get up onto the sides here and use the vinegar to kind of bring down some of the salt that gets stuck on the sides of your glass, just so that you're making sure that you're getting everything. So yeah, you did start off with a whole cup of salt here, and we are down to maybe a few little granules. Those of you who like to follow directions, you know, to a T, 100%, you are welcome to wait for them to dissolve completely, or if you want to stick it back in the microwave for a minute or two, you're welcome to. I have found that, you know, just a little bit of stirring. Honestly, salt does dissolve in water. There. You can see it's already starting to get smaller. But salt does dissolve, so those of you who are in a hurry, if you don't really have the time to sit around and wait for everything to dissolve, when you're down to that last little bit like that, you are welcome to just go ahead and throw it in, all right? So once you have your brine mixture, we're going to go ahead and start to pour that in. Once you've done that, you can go ahead and pour in the rest of your gallon of vinegar. So I know that this recipe has, yes, a lot of vinegar. So again, those of you who aren't a fan of the smell, you know, a mask is a really good option for this, or just kind of diffusing oils nearby. I feel like this sounds like, anyone know if like Adam Sandler's The Longest Pee? My daughter's obsessed with that, and this is what it reminds me of. Almost done. There we go. And then we go ahead and do, I'm going to take this out. And then last but not least, 1/4 of a teaspoon of soap. And you can use whatever soap you want. Dish soap is fine for this. Hand soap is fine for this. I've actually used both. This time I'm just using just regular cast-iron soap. It's a concentrate, so, you know, it may be a little bit too strong for what we're looking for. Typically both my hand soap and my dish soap have this in a diluted form. So, you know, a little bit of a difference there, but not too much. So this is the mixture for it. And of course, I don't have my lid. So hopefully we don't spill right now. This may be the spill of the of the show, because I spill every show. There we go. So you mix it up really quickly just to make sure everything is well mixed, and then you can go ahead and just place it right into a spray bottle. And can I just point out how awesome I was for being able to shake that without actually spilling it everywhere? Because that is an accomplishment for me. So yeah, I make this in a big batch like this, and then I go ahead and make one spray bottle of it at a time. One full spray bottle typically will get about, I want to say, what did we do? We did 1, 2, 3, about 5 square feet. This will kill off about 5 square feet when you're doing that initial spray, because that one always has to be like a little bit heavier. And I normally end up doing 2 days of like a full on like spray on the areas that I'm really trying to concentrate on, in making sure that I kill off it, whether it's the poison ivy, whether it's that thorny, bushy kind of vine I was telling you about, whether it's a 7-minute itch. We actually have a black walnut tree that keeps trying to grow like out of our house. And if I actually let it grow, the roots will eventually push in on the foundation of the house. So I keep trying to have to kill it off because I've tried pulling it up, and I guess the roots are just so far down into the ground that pulling it up is not working. So we've actually started using this spray on it this year. I actually only had to spray it like a good spray once, and I have not seen any new growth on it. So I'm hoping that maybe this has been the key. I'm gonna go ahead and try to pull it up in about a week or two, give it a few more weeks of just like occasional spraying. And then we'll see if it's ready to pull up. So yeah, about 5 square feet of like that heavy duty spray. One bottle does that. And then when you're doing your weekly spray, you can spray, like one bottle will take care of, I did almost the entire side of the driveway, which our driveway is about 100 feet long. So I did the entire side of the driveway and our walkway up to the house. So, I mean, you know, I don't have an exact square footage on that, but I can normally get that done with one bottle. So when you're doing your weekly, just kind of check in, it really doesn't take that much. One bottle will actually get you very far. So that is that. I hope that I'm able to help you guys out with some natural solutions for weed killing. Those of you who are still stuck on Roundup, please, please, please try a different option. Roundup is absolutely terrible for the environment. It gets back into our drinking water. It gets into our crops. It's absolutely terrible. So if you can avoid using Roundup, please do. If this is too natural for you, check in with me. I'm sure that there's plenty of other products I can recommend that could work for what it is you're looking to do. All right, so I hope I was able to help you. Bye-bye.